So, when the story came out that I was raped by aliens, I wasn't too impressed because this is the Sunday people. But then again, I should have expected it because, you have to exaggerate stories a bit, punch them up. But at least there's one thing. I made sure the reporter got the majority of the information correct because it was important to me that the facts were told. But, again, they also had to put their own point of view to what I was saying and what I experienced. Fortunately, to say the least, the best reporter who has ever told my story, and who I am more than pleased that if I ever choose to have my story written in a book, is a woman named Stacia Briggs. She did my story for our local newspaper, a feature article, which I did to her, for her, again, as a thank you for all the, because her and several of the other reporters for this paper had always, supported my husband and his work even before I even knew him. And I thought, well, I could do it. I could probably be more than pleased to do it as a thank you to them for supporting him all those years. Again, another kindness. And matter of fact, she more than impressed me with what she done because, what it was, I trusted her with some, I gave her a regression video. And I said, look, Stacia, I have no reason not to trust you after all the years that you in your paper have for my husband on his project. So I want you as an independent witness and as a reporter to look at this before you write up anything. Don't look along, don't use the interview. She said, because she's one of these reporters, she records, but she also takes her own notes. And, very good one as well, I can tell you. I said to her, I want you to do me this one favor. So before you write up the article, I must insist to see this regression video all the way through. Because there's something on there that may interest you. And she said, in regards to what? And I said, well, I'll just give you a hint. 9/11. That's all I said. I didn't tell her anymore. She took it away. And quite some time I didn't hear anything about it. But she did say it was going to go into Halloween issue of the newspaper. And she said she'd make sure that, because what she did as well, in appreciation, on her, she got the video put on DVD for me. So, I'm very grateful, and many thanks go to Stacia Briggs and Stop the Eastern Evening News here in Norfolk. So anyway, Norfolk, UK. So anyway, she went away, she watched it, and I was most impressed, I have to say. Because I didn't, to be quite honest, I didn't know what, because I knew how decent they were to my husband, but I never, kind of writing that she did, the write-up she did, far surpassed my expectations. I mean, let me put it this way, what she wrote about me, and my experience, was much more honest and truthful than what Albert Budden wrote about me. Because she took the time, first of all, to interview me properly, asked me properly how I felt, what I felt, what I thought, and she also took the evidence that I gave her and viewed it for herself and came to her own conclusions. But, again, another but, before she put it into print, she rang me up and she read to me over the phone the piece she had written. And she said if I wasn't happy with it, she wasn't going to print it, she'd start over again. Well, I was totally blown away what she had written, but I felt that, hey, this is the best interview in relation to my experiences that anyone has ever done for me. And I didn't do it for, again, I didn't do it for the media. I didn't care what the public thought. It didn't bother me here or there. It didn't mean nothing to me about the public. To me, it wasn't so much what the public being in the media eye. That was not what mattered to me. Don't forget, prior to this, I had come across Albert Budden's book about what he wrote up about me. So I basically wanted to set the record straight. And Stacia, thank you so much. I am eternally grateful to you because you told the story as it was meant to be told. And unfortunately, if you don't live in the UK, you won't see it, and it's no longer showing on online. It's shown sometime online. I guess you could request a copy of it. But the thing is, she was the kind of reporter that every reporter should be. Mind you, there was only one other reporter I think I came across. But very few reporters are prepared to tell it like it is and not put their own spin on it. Because when you start putting spin on other people's stories and other people's lives, then you start determining what other people think. In other words, see, that's the only problem with authors, writers, yeah? You know for yourself, to read a book, you get drawn in, you get taken in. Same with media on the news. You're drawn in, you're taken in. Some people take it in, oh, here we go again, it's going to come to an end again. Some people take it in, hook, line, and sinker. So, in relation to Michael Jackson, I didn't take in all that media said, okay? Because I knew that Michael Jackson didn't grow up to have the childhood that I had. I saw Michael Jackson as someone who didn't even know who he was, as someone who obviously missed his childhood, and someone who, has now left 3 children behind without a dad, and fortunately he protected their identity so they can have their life. But, you've all got to remember, there are children, he's got children who are missing him, and, you've got to respect that more than anything else, and I don't really think his children need to hear any innuendos about his possible this or possible that. They're children involved here. And the thing is, in my own opinion, I don't think he was. Because, to me, he was a confused and misunderstood human being that gave the world his music. And that's all I can say about him. He was a man, well, sum it all up, he was a music man. I can't even recall the film. Michael Jackson, the music man. And